Hi, Michelle here, and I'm inviting you to Wake Up and Live. Today, I want to talk to you about your soul's message. Did you know your soul has a message? If you are living in this very moment, and if you have a body and you are here on earth, your soul has a message. I know it does. Every soul has a message. Every life has a purpose. Our number one purpose is actually to experience life, to come and get a body, to experience and learn to master creation and living in the moment and all those kind of things. But you have a message. Everybody has a message. But do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? Chances are your core message comes from your biggest wound, the wound that you got the earliest. It's my favorite wound to heal. I love doing energy work and I love helping people heal and change their beliefs and remove the layers so that they become their soul. So their soul shines bright. And that's my favorite thing to do. And my absolute favorite one is to go back and get the original soul wound that is a part or creates your soul's message. I'm not exactly 100% sure whether you created the wound because this was your message or whether your message came from the wound. I'm still getting that information. I expect that it will come very soon because I have an interest in it. So what is your soul message? I've worked with a few people who are here to remind you. They're to remind you who you are. They're here to remind you where you came from. They're here to remind you that you have reason to live, that you are loved, that you are meant to be playful. There is a lot of reminder messages to remind you something. And there are people who come here to remind you or to let you know that you are meant to be here, that you belong here. And that is one of my big ones. It's really important for me that everybody I know understands that they belong here, that they came here in this moment for a reason, that you are not an accident, you are not a mistake, you are meant to be here right now. And another one of my messages is that you are whole and complete, that you are already perfect underneath all the layers. And you just get to remember that and to find that. And that is one of my messages. And I've known a lot of people that they have similar ones. It's, if you look back at your childhood, you might be able to see little glimpses. For one of mine, it's probably the easiest example for me to explain to people, is when I was in elementary school, I remember very specifically a young lady who didn't have any friends. Nobody really would talk to her. She was alone on the playground, and I became her friend. And that pattern happened a lot in my life. I became friends with people who didn't have friends. I pretty much would become friends with absolutely anybody who was willing to be my friend. I learned to include people. I actually remember sitting around in a lot of meetings, and if I noticed that somebody wasn't talking, if I was in a position to invite them to participate, I would turn and invite them to participate because I wanted them to be a part of it. I wanted them to belong. If I went dancing, I would notice if somebody wasn't dancing and I would invite them. Now, why did I do this? As I told you, one of my big messages is to let you know that you belong. So that's what I was already doing. I was already trying to include people, bring people into my experience, let them know that they belonged with me or belonged hanging out with us or belonged in the conversation, whatever it was. And part of that was because my entire life, I remember being excluded. I remember being kicked out of the club when I was in elementary school. It was pretty traumatic for me. I remember a lot of times, I remember going dancing as a young adult and in high school, and like kind of moving out to the back of the group because I felt like everybody was interacting with each other and they were ignoring me, and I would move farther and farther away. But I wanted to be included, but I felt out of place. So I actually created more of the problem. Looking at it now, I realized that if I wanted to be included, I needed to actually step into that. But that's another story. So because what I wanted was to be included, what I wanted was to know I belonged, I actually turned that around and did that for other people. And if you're here to share, to let people know that they have a choice, you probably experienced a lot of times where you felt like you didn't have any choice in the matter. Like you had to do what you were told without having any agency. I mean, truly, you could have said no. You would have suffered pretty massive consequences, but you had that choice. But you didn't feel like it. You felt like you were powerless. And if you felt like that, you probably also was an advocate for choice. You probably were making sure that other people knew that they had a choice. Just like I've always made sure my children knew that they belonged to us and that I loved them and I wanted them in my family. Somebody who's got agency is a big part of their thing, that ability to choose. They are going to really let their children know that they have a choice, most likely. Because it's kind of like we kind of flip our wound around and we bring that in as a superpower for everybody else. We let people know that they're incredible. We let people know that they're the amazing and powerful people, because that's what we wanted somebody to tell us when we were little, as we were growing. We wanted somebody to tell us. So we started telling somebody else. And so that's a good inkling as to what your message really is. Now, your message doesn't have to come out. You don't have to go around saying, hey, you belong. You belong. You're whole and complete. You don't have to do that. If that's not a part of your life's work, you don't have to do that. Your life's work could be selling, selling makeup. Maybe that's your thing. Maybe it just brings you a lot of passion to bring in that, and your message is you're beautiful. But you don't go around and necessarily tell people that they're beautiful. I mean, you can, and that's incredible. But what you're doing is you're giving people a way to express their beauty. And if you bring that message into what you're doing, you'll be better at what you're doing. People will recognize it. They'll just feel it. They'll just know that you are calling them to bring out their beauty. Or maybe you sell health products because you just want them to know that it's okay to be alive and it's okay to be healthy. And that's your big thing is, hey, you are alive. Let's live. And if you're doing that and you bring that kind of idea, the energy of it behind what you're doing, people will sense that. They will know that you're not there to sell them the supplement because it's going to make you money. They will understand that the money that comes from what you're doing is just a bonus for you, because what you're really about is sharing that life that comes through your product. So those are some of the things. Now, I myself, because of what I choose to do for my life work, I actually am coming out and saying you belong. I am coming out and talking about my message, but that's because that makes sense with what I do. If you're a window washer and you are just here to let the world know it's a beautiful place, you're just going to do your best at what you're doing, and it's totally okay, because your message comes through in everything you do. Whether you're aware of your message or not, it comes through in everything you do. But the more aware you are, the easier it is for you to share your message. So if you're interested in knowing more, if you're interested in actually doing a soul healing so that you can get more clarity and actually heal the wound so that it's easier for you to tell the truth, because you recognize that it is true for you too. If you are willing to step into that, please let me know. I really, really would love to help you. And if that's not for you, that's okay. That's truly okay. I just do hope that you've learned something. And if you have learned something, be sure to like this video, share this video, comment below, subscribe, hit the little notification bell so that you get all the notices of when I upload another video. And remember to allow your soul and your soul's message to shine bright. And I will see you again tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. I love you.